Salutations! Hello! Welcome to your latest installment of Dreadlocks Questions and Answers, Dreadlocks Q&A 22. I'm going to be taking questions that you guys have left for me. 4 left in previous YouTube videos and 1 from the Facebook group this week. First question from Ken Tremain. Question: I have read that you should cut dreads with a razor blade. I have also seen a guy with flat tips, presumably from cutting with scissors, and I don't like the looks. How do you cut your dreads? I've also heard, seen, read this. I'm not entirely sure where it comes from. I've not used a razor blade on mine. I would imagine if you had a razor blade it would sort of go straight through, whereas if you had scissors it would maybe squeeze and stuff. I know that they say, I know that it's not recommended to cut normal hair with kitchen scissors. You're supposed to use like proper hair cutting scissors that are sharper and things. I'm not particularly sure why. But I don't think cutting with scissors is gonna particularly lead to a different look to cutting with a razor blade. In fact, I would think that cutting with a razor blade is more likely to leave you with more squared off tips, because if you have a razor blade, you're gonna go straight through and that's gonna cut straight, and then there's not much else you can do with a razor blade. Whereas if you cut with scissors, you can cut straight through and then you can sort of shape it a little bit. You can kind of cut at angles and round them a little bit cutting wise, whereas I don't really think you'd be able to do that very easily with just a razor blade. I mean, the shaping in my experience doesn't make a whole lot of difference anyway, because as soon as you start washing the dreadlock you'll start to get it sort of loosen up at the tip. But yeah, I have cut my dreads a number of times in the past and I've never used a razor blade. I just use big kitchen scissors. Scruffydreadedlad asks, hey man, I'm letting my dreads be natural, but I just dunno what to say when people tell me, dude, your dreads are coming out. I was wondering if you know how to answer that without having to go through a long explanation. Thanks, peace. You can just say, hey, I'm in control, it's a process, it's my hair, don't worry about it. Coby, I'm thinking of putting bleach in my dreads. Some people think they will be likely to snap. What's your take on bleaching dreads? Okay, bleach is not particularly good for hair. Ask anyone who regularly bleaches their hair. You know, bleach is going to damage the hair, it's going to make it all sort of straw-like, but it depends how often you do it. It's not recommended to have super damaged hair with dreadlocks because you don't want them to become really dry and brittle and break bits off. But if you've never bleached your hair before, if you just have, you know, normal hair and you not going to go super insane with it, I don't really see it's going to be a big deal. I know a lot of people that do dye their hair regularly and they do bleach their hair blonde, they make blonde dreads and things, and I think mainly the warnings are that it does make your hair damaged, brittle and all that, so don't go insane with it. But I bleached this dread in the challenge video, and I mean, I'm no expert on bleaching hair. It doesn't feel a whole lot different to any other dreads. In fact, this dread is actually softer than my other dreads because I conditioned it slightly when I bleached and dyed it, and it's not snapped, it's fine, and I bleached and dyed it. Liz Sherlock asks, would you ever get rid of your dreadlocks? Probably. I'm not planning on doing it any time in the near future, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to keep dreadlocks for the entirety of my life. I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what sort of situations might arise in the future whereby dreadlocks may complicate my life, you know, more than they're worth. So, not planning on doing it, but I would not promise that I would keep them forever. I cannot say I cannot see in the future. Today's Facebook question, the question taken from the Facebook group, is from Tyler Wilkinson. How do you know if you have moldy dreads? You first tell if you have mold in your dreads if they smell bad. That's the first sign anyway. So if the body of the dread smells bad when they're damp, you're gonna get mold and stuff in your dreads. If you keep washing your hair and then laying on it when it's damp and just basically not drying it properly. So if you fall asleep on them and you wake up and they're still damp and stuff, and you do that repeatedly, so they're kind of always in a constant state of damp, then they're gonna get unpleasant, in the same way that if you have a towel and you soak it and then leave it in the bottom of the washing basket and stuff, they get a bad smell. But it does take a while for sort of mold to really take root in your dreadlocks. If you're having dreadlocks that when they're damp they smell very unpleasant, then probably starting to get a problem in there, and you're going to want to deep clean the hair a few times and put in extra tea tree essential oil, and then the deep clean and everything is going to clean the dreadlocks out. From that point on you're going to want to be a lot more careful with your washing and drying, and then hopefully the problem will not come back. I hope to go over this topic in a little bit more detail in the future with, you know, a video dedicated to just this topic. Those are my questions for this week, my 5 questions. If you would like to ask me a question, you can leave it down in the comment section. Please write question at the start. Or you can join the Facebook page, and then each week I'll post a status and people can ask their questions there, and then one lucky person gets their question answered that week. If you enjoyed this video, click the thumbs up and then I know you enjoyed it. Push the subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos from me in the future. You can always find all my stuff on lazydreads.com. You can find all my Dreadlocks Q&A videos and the questions. You can tweet me at twitter.com/lazy_dreads, and as mentioned you can go to the Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/lazydreads, where you can ask me Facebook questions and take part in competitions and giveaways and have lots of fun, and it's a party. Yeah. Okay, thank you for watching this week. I hope to see you again next week. Farewell!